Hi everyone, this is Yuvraj. So I'm going to teach you today agricultural microbiology. So under this subject, I'm going to teach you biopesticides and biofertilizers. First, we'll see what is biopesticide and its definition. Then we'll go to biofertilizers. So first, understand what is biopesticides. So pesticide means, as we know that pest it related to something insects. Side Side which means it is related to the killing. So killing of pest we say it as pesticides. So here we have an extra term that is bio. So bio means biological living organisms. So we are going to use some living organisms to kill pest. So in this picture you can see there are some larvae there in the plants. So he is trying to spray some biological related compound on them. So on the sprayer you can see in the back of him you can see the leaf like structure. So it indicates that he is using some biopesticides. Okay, plant derived some substances he is using it. Okay, so this is what we call it as biopesticides. So so we are going to cover different topics under biopesticides. Now I'm going to explain all the topics first, or you can say syllabus. Okay, so I'm just going to explain all the syllabus. First, topic 1. Okay, so history and concept of biopesticides. Here we are going to read about history, a background of biopesticides, when they started, year of their evolution, and some basic concepts also. Next one we are going to see topic 2, that is related to importance, scope and potential biopesticides. What are the importance, different importance we will be having, and why do we need to go for biopesticides instead of synthetic pesticides, and what are the scope futures we are having regarding biopesticides, as well as we are going to see potential also. Okay, and see the image, global biopesticide market, that is a forecasted around 2020 to 2028. So this is how the products related to biopesticides will be increased in the future, and its application also. Next one, third topic 3. Here definitions, concepts and classifications of biopesticides along with pathogen, botanical biopesticides and biorationals. Okay, so here we are going to see definition of the biopesticides, and then concept, different concepts we are having. So along with that we are going to see classification of biopesticides also. We have a different classifications like plant based biopesticide, that is what we call botanical pesticides. Then microbial based biopesticides. Okay, see, botanical based biopesticide means those substances which are extracted from the plant based materials, so that's why we call them as botanical biopesticides. If you take microbial based biopesticide, so pesticide, that substance we call active ingredient, right, that will be obtained from the mostly from microorganisms, so that's why we call microbial based biopesticides. So next topic, topic 4, and then here also we will be continuing same topic as the definitions, concepts and classifications of biopesticides, because here we have to see some term and definitions are also. Here you can see the first picture, pathogen. So we know what is pathogen means, right? We should understand first some of the terms like what is pathogen, what is botanical pesticides. Okay, then what is the term of, what is the meaning of biorationals, So pathogen means we know any organism which causes disease we call pathogen. For example, you can say virus, bacteria, fungi, right? Here I have given some examples like bacteria causes cholera, so virus causes influenza, fungi causes athletic foot, right? So these all are the examples of pathogens and diseases. So same way, if you take a pathogens of plants, so several plants also we have several diseases which causes, right, several causal organisms which cause diseases to plants. Okay, then botanical insecticide. These insecticides are naturally occurring chemicals which are extracted from the seeds, flowers, leaves, a stem, and roots. You can see the whole part of the plants. We extract the component of biopesticides. Okay. So next one is topic 5 here, biopesticides. Especially we are going to study about the botanical biopesticides and their uses. What are the different botanical biopesticides we are having? Okay, and how to use them. Okay, so we have different botanical biopesticides like neem based biofertilizer biopesticides. Then we have pyrethrum based, right, chrysanthemum, the plant we call chrysanthemum, that is flowering plant. From that plant we extract pyrethrum, so we can use it as a biopesticide. Then we can use a rotinane, right. Then we can go for using of azadirachtin, which are mainly active ingredient of neem. So like this we have a different plant based or derived materials, we can use it as a biopesticides. So next one is mass production technology of biopesticides. This is very important topic. Here we are going to read how to mass produce the particular type of biopesticides and what are the technologies we should go for producing a mass of biopesticides. So here you can see this all are the bio products, we can say biopesticides, and we have a different companies, they are actually they are producing it in a mass quantities and they are selling it in a market. The next one is topic 7. Here we are going to see some of the important terms. We call it as virulence. So before going to start to study about the biopesticide and their applications, production technology, so we should know some terms also. So for example, virulence, pathogenicity, symptoms of entomopathogenic pathogen, and then nematodes. Okay, so all of these we should know and we should study about these terms also, then only we can easily understand the biopesticides. Okay, here first one you can see bacterial virulence factors. So virulence mean if any cause any organism which are able to cause disease, so we call it as virulence, they have a ability to cause disease. That is also we call it as pathogenic, non-pathogenic. Pathogenic means obviously they cause disease, non-pathogenic means they do not cause any disease. Nematodes, you know nematodes, like they are very small, we say they are like a thread like structure, mostly you can find it in the soil. Even they also cause diseases to the plant, or some of the good nematode are also there, we can use those nematodes to control pest also. So next topic is topic 8, methods and applications of biopesticides. So what are the different methods we are going to use and apply application of biopesticides? For example, we have application methods like we can go for soil applications or a seed treatment, or we can apply through foliar sprayers or grown plants. Okay, we can spray a chemical directly on the already grown plants. Okay, we can use a two formulations will be there, one is a liquid formulation, another one is a dry formulation. Okay, so like this we will be covering it under methods of application of biopesticides. Next one, topic 9, methods of quality control and techniques of biopesticides. So quality control, it is another very important process, okay, and that should be maintained when you are going to produce a biopesticides. So So as per Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage, we have to follow all the guidelines to produce a biopesticides. We have a different techniques, we should follow them and to produce the quality biopesticides. Okay, so this will be the very vast topic also, we'll cover it in one lecture. So next one is topic 10. What are the limitations, okay, impediments or limitation in the production and usage of biopesticides? Obviously whatever new technology or new process, new methods, when we discovering it, so everything is having some disadvantages, or we can say limitations also. Even biopesticide also, still if it is still it is having a many advantages, still we have some limitations. So what are those limitations? We will read to, or we can say disadvantages in these topics. Okay, so topic 11 we will be covering it. Okay, so already we completed top 10 topics, so all 10 topics are related to biopesticides only, and now we are going to start with biofertilizers. Biofertilizer introduction, status and scope, that will be covered under this topic. So first we should know what is a biopesticide and its status in India, and what are the scopes we are having it in India. So understand, biofertilizer means, here fertilizer term we are using it. So fertilizer means any substance which give nutrients to the soil, or which increases the nutrition level in the soil, we call it as fertilizers. Here the term we use bio also, which means biofertilizer. So biological organisms which are helping to improve the nutrients in the soil. That is what definition of biofertilizers. So next topic, structure. We'll cover it now, mostly bacterial biofertilizers only. So yeah, that's why we are going to cover structure and characteristics features of bacterial biofertilizers. So because we are using mostly bacterial biofertilizers only, so for example, we are having a mostly Azospirillum, Azotobacter, PSB. So this kind of bacterial biofertilizers are now currently used it. So we'll see it one by one. First, we'll see it structure and characteristics features of Azospirillum. Okay, so Azospirillum, it is an important nitrogen fixing bacteria. So it is an associative symbiotic also, and it is a gram negative bacteria. So it is mostly used, you can see rice crops, cereal crops, okay, oil seed crops, we can use it this Azospirillum. Okay, we will cover it, its structure and its characteristics, features, everything. Okay, and next topic we will be covering it, structure and characteristics features of Azotobacter. So Azotobacter is another important nitrogen fixing bacteria. It fixes nitrogen in the soil freely, so that's why we call this bacteria as a free living bacteria. Okay, and it is also gram negative bacteria. So next, another important bacteria, that is Bacillus. We are going to study structure and characteristics features of Bacillus. Bacillus, it is a PSB bacteria, okay, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, and it is a it is a gram positive bacteria. Uh, Here it is mainly used for solubilization of phosphate. Okay. So next one is structure and characteristics features of Pseudomonas. It is another important PSB bacteria. So we say phosphate solubilizing bacteria, and we say Pseudomonas, right? So it is also helping to solubilize the phosphate in the soil. Okay. Next one, topic 17, that is structure and characteristics features of Rhizobium. It's a very important nitrogen fixing bacteria, and it fixes nitrogen mostly in the legume crops as a nodulated formation. So this bacterial structure, and it is one of the very important gram negative bacteria, as well as it fixes more nitrogen as compared to other nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, so we'll read it detailedly in further classes, so I'm just giving an intro of this bacteria. Okay, so next topic, structure and characteristics features of Frankia. So we know that it is one of the only one actinomycetes. We are using it as a biofertilizer. So actinomycetes, it will be looking like bacteria, sorry, fungi, but its structure and if you see characteristics, it comes under bacteria. So you can say it is a between bacteria and fungi. That's why they kept it separately. But actinomycetes are generally they are bacteria only. So Frankia is an example for actinomycetes. So Frankia also fixing nitrogen. Okay, they fix nitrogens in the form of nodules only. Mostly you can see it in the trees and shrubs. So forest crops. So next one is cyanobacteria biofertilizers. Anabina, nostoc, haplosiphon. So it's very important bacteria. So this bacteria has originated first, you can say first on earth. So because of this bacteria only, so oxygen, today we have 21% of oxygen on the atmosphere because of this bacteria only, because it does photosynthesis and it releases O2 in the atmosphere. And we can use this cyanobacteria also as a biofertilizer, and mostly it is used in the rice crop, paddy crop, because it requires more water. So whatever crop is growing under submerged condition, we can go for using of this biofertilizer, especially Anabina, Nostoc, Haplosiphon. These are the examples of cyanobacteria. Next topic, topic 20, fungal biofertilizers. We are using some of the fungi also as a biofertilizer. Example, AM mycorrhiza, or we say another one is there, that is ectomycorrhiza. There is two mycorrhiza. So understand first, mycorrhiza means, rhiza means root and myco means fungus. So this fungus colonizes the root of plants, so we call mycorrhiza. So we have worm fungi. VAM means vesicular herbicicular mycorrhiza. So this fungi also colonizes the roots of agricultural crops. So they mobilize the phosphate nutrients from the soil. So that's why this fungi is very important, because they mobilize the nutrients to the plant crops. Okay. Next one is topic 21, nitrogen fixation. Here we are going to study about free living and symbiotic nitrogen fixation. We have a different classifications of nitrogen fixation. One is free living nitrogen fixation, another one is associative symbiotic nitrogen fixation, and third one is symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Here we'll see detailedly how these microorganisms are fixed nitrogen in the soil from atmosphere to soil. Next one, topic 22. Here mechanism of phosphate solubilizing and phosphate mobilization along with potassium solubilization also. Phosphate solubilization, as we know that most of the phosphorus in the soil, they are in soluble form. So in that condition plant won't take. So for that it should be solubilized in the soil. So for that, to solubilize these phosphate, we have some microorganisms. So those microorganisms are actually helping to solubilize insoluble form to soluble form of phosphate. So when it comes to soluble form, plant can easily uptake it. Okay, so another one is phosphate mobilization. Phosphate mobilization means soluble phosphorus will be there, but they are far away from the root region, so plant can't uptake them. So for helping that, fungus, I told you already, right? Fungal based biofertilizer, that is WAM fungi. So that fungi is only helping to carry that phosphorus from the far away place to near to the plant. Okay. Next one is same topic. We will be continuing it as in topic 23 also. Mechanism of phosphate solubilization and phosphate mobilization along with potassium solubilization. So here you can see potassium. Most of the potassium, they are in the form of minerals, So in that form, plant will not able to uptake. Some of the bacteria, fungi and worm, they are helping to solubilize them. Okay, in that solubilized form, plant can easily uptake it. Next one, topic 24, production technology. Now we already covered almost all the important biofertilizers along with examples. Now production technology, how to produce these biofertilizers. There are some important techniques, so especially for strain selection and sterilization. These are the very important techniques. Okay, sterilization, then growth and fermentation, mass production of carrier based, along with liquid biofertilizers also. Okay, so carrier based biofertilizer and liquid based biofertilizers we are having. Same topic, so that will be continued again because it is in a bit vast topic, so we have to continue because we have to cover all these terms also: strain selection, sterilization, growth and fermentation. Okay, and we have to compare it liquid along with carrier based biofertilizer also. Next topic, FCO specifications and quality control of biofertilizer. So FCO, the Fertilizer Control Order 1985. So according to them, they have given some specifications. Okay, so we should follow that specifications and qualities when you are producing biofertilizers. Next topic, topic 27, applications. Already we studied biofertilizers and then production technology and then quality control. So obviously next one will be the application technologies, how to use those biofertilizers in the field. Should we go for a soil application or seedling treatments? So here like we have a different usages of biofertilizer. We can go for directly application to the soil also along with farmyard manures or organic manures. Okay, or we can use it directly for seed treatment also, or root or seedling treatment also. So these are the different applications that will be also covered in two classes. So because we are going to use seedlings, tuber sets also, we can be treated with biofertilizers directly. So next topic, topic 29, biofertilizers. Once you produced a biofertilizer, we have to store them. That is another very important process, storage, shelf life. We have to maintain the quality as well as life of the biofertilizer also. Shelf life, quality control and marketing. So you can see the pictures here, they are stored it on almost all on the, okay, wood. Okay, they used a different wood to store all the biofertilizers on them so that water won't spoil all the biofertilizers. So storage process also very important. While you are storing biofertilizer, you should keep some of the points in your mind. uh, Next one, shelf life, because you have to check the shelf life of as well as quality also while when you are storing your biofertilizers. You have to frequently just go to the lab and just check the quality as well as shelf life of the particular biofertilizer. Okay, finally you can directly market it. So topic 30, here there are some factors which are affecting efficacy of the biofertilizers. What are the factors which are affecting the performances of biofertilizers? You can see the host plant sometimes won't be performing. Okay, soil fertility, that can also affect the performance. Cropping practices, biological or environmental factors also can influence. These all are the few factors we will study detailed in further classes. So these all are the factors which are affecting the performances of biofertilizers, and we will see all the factors detailedly. What is host plant and how they are influencing the performances of biofertilizers, as well as we are going to see environmental. So here biological and environmental factor is very important, and that also influences the performances of biofertilizers. So that's it, all of you. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please subscribe our channel. This is the Edison Academy. So all of you, thank you once again.